Gnomies! The Gnomesteader here, back with another installment on how to build a mass heater for a tiny house. Now, you might be asking me, Gnomesteader, you're always talking about rocket mass. You build rocket masses. Why aren't you building a rocket mass in the tiny house? Well, it has a lot to do with size. When we were living in the dome over here, there wasn't very much insulation in there. In fact, most of the top is no insulation. So the rocket mass heater worked great. It was a lot of heat. It kept it warm in there, you know, but it still dispersed pretty fast. So in the tiny house, we got a lot more insulation. It's sealed up a lot more better. And it's also smaller than the dome is. So the area is a lot smaller. So if I had a barrel in there that was superheating and then putting air into a mass, one, that thing's freaking so big, it'd take up half my tiny house. I need a little bit of space in there. Two, it would blast me out because it's so well insulated. I'd be opening up windows, doors, ripping my clothes off, sticking my butt out the window trying to stay cool when it's 20 below. We ain't going to do that. So what we are going to do is keep building this mass heater because it's mostly stone. There's going to be a little cooktop on there so I can make coffee and cook some stuff, but the majority of it's stone. So what's going to happen is instead of this blast of heat coming in, it's going to heat up that stone gradually. And that stone is gradually, over time, going to release that heat. So even if the fire goes out 6-7 hours later, that thing is still radiating heat. So you still got heat pumping into your cabin. So you're nice and warm in the morning. Because I don't know if any of you ever lived with wood stoves in the winter, in cold climates. Morning is tough. Getting out of bed, oh, it's tough. Oh, it's tough. Anyway, so let's go inside, see what we got done, see how much we can get done today. Okay, guys, here we are inside. Got a little bit of stuff done. Whew, let me take this hat off. Freaking warm in here, even though there's no heat. Anyway, this is what we got done so far. You saw the firebox getting put over here. Now what I ended up doing, I ended up putting it up on blocks, getting it the rough height that I need it. Okay? Now, the reason it's not sitting there permanently, because if I put these bricks on here, if it's not where I need it, I can adjust underneath and get it where I want it. Because this side over here is going to have a metal plate, and this side's all going to be stone. You'll see that when we get there. But anyway, so that's what's going on there. I got a bunch of bricks over here. I put everything in that I could that I didn't have to cut. Got those started back over there. Used some foam to keep them all straight until the mortar and stuff dried. But this is basically what we're doing, guys. Basically how I'm doing it now that I need to do some cuts is like this one right here. Needs to fit in this space. So I lay it in there, mark a line on there, take it outside, cut it. Now, when you are cutting these, make sure you allow for your mortar in between the bricks. If you cut it exactly this size, it's not going to fit once you put the mortar in there. And then it's going to knock all your bricks out of whack. And you don't want that. So, my saw, I leave at least a blade. And because my bricks are so tight together, oh, sorry for the shadows, see how tight together they are, I don't need much. But I do need some. Otherwise, there won't be any room for glue. And I'm not using glue. I'm using a mortar in a tube, mainly because, guys, you see that weather out there? Water, mixing mortar, cleaning up. No, not fun, not doing it. So, what am I doing? I am using furnace net, rated up to 2,000 degrees. That's it right there. I think I got this at Home Depot a while ago. I forget, but I'm sure they have it there. Various stove supplies. I'm sure you can find it on the inner tubes and the interwebs. So, what we're going to do here now is we got some bricks marked. We're going to go out there and cut them a little bit. Give you a little bit of live action of that. What do you think? What do you think? I think we go to work. Let's do it.
Are we rolling? Let's fire up the generator and find out. Mark that. diamond blade. Rough, square, paper. See it? Let's go inside and get some bricks laid. What do you think?
Alright guys, back inside here. Hopefully you can see what I got going on here. Now, where was I? Setting bricks. Okay, that one doesn't fit. This one does. Let's double check here. Yep, that's gonna fit. That's gonna fit perfectly. Only one thing I forgot to do. See this how this has a little chamfer on the edge of it? Forgot to put one on here. And that'll look silly if I don't. So let me run outside, get that done, then we'll show you how to set these things. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Okay, we're back. We got that little chamfer on there. It doesn't look great, but it'll freaking work for what we're doing. Looks good for my house. And look at that. It even fits. Check it out. Alright. So, what you gotta do with this? One, gotta make sure you're dust free. Get all your dirties out of there. Clean all your dusties off of this, wherever your stuff's gonna go. And here's the trick with this stuff, even with mortar, guys. With tile, anytime you're using an adhesive on something porous like cement and stuff like this, you want to dampen the surface. And I got some water here somewhere just for that because I was using it. And I got a rag here somewhere. Okay. Now basically what I'm doing, I'm just taking some water, wetting a rag here. Now, just trying to limit the mess. I've already got a mess going on, otherwise I could dampen this, splash some water on there. I'm just trying to stay neat with it. I got enough water in here messing up my floors. You want to dampen this stuff down. And the reason you dampen this down where the mastic goes, where the glue goes, where the mortar goes, whatever you're using, is if it's not wet, what's going to happen is your wet mortar, your wet adhesive, whatever's going to go on there, is going to, the moisture is going to suck right into the dry brick. And it's going to dry out too fast. And it's not going to be as good a connection. So, basically what you want to do, I'm just using a rag here. You can use a spray bottle. Like I said, I'm trying to limit the water mess. You don't want to get a ton on there. Just dampen it. Dampen it. Dampen it. Like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this stuff up on here and get a nice bead of this stuff going. Now remember folks, anytime you're running stuff with caulking tube, stuff like that, an old timer taught me, he said, when you're doing this, always keep in mind that a chain is as strong as its weakest link. So if you got a nice giant bead of caulk on there, nice sealed up real good, and you skip a spot, well, it's like a weak link in a chain. It's just going to mess you up. So, don't do that. Make sure it's nice and covered. Sets in there nicely. Now you see how loose these are? This is why it's taking me a few days, because it does take quite a while for this stuff to set up before it stops moving. But that's basically it right there for that. Let's do one more real quick if we got time. I got my water. I lost my rag. What did I do with my raggy for the water? Oh, there it is. Okay, so we get to put a full brick here. That's easy. And then we'll probably get to put another full brick on. So, dampen this down. Dampen this down. Dampen this down. Take yourself a full brick. Dampen it down. And it's going to go up against there, so you want to dampen it down. And then you want to get your glue. I'll show you here. Nice fat bead of furnace mortar adhesive. Good for 2,000 degrees. You'll never get 2,000 degrees on this side of the stove, but that's okay. Overkill is okay. So, squish it in place. You want to wiggle it a little bit. Make sure it's smeared around. No extra hanging out too bad. Tweak those. And what I've been doing, since they like to move around, is I'll go ahead and I'll put a brick up against it like that. That way, until it sets, about 4 or 5 hours. You could pull this off if you needed to, but it's going to be set. So, we just keep doing this, round and round and round until we get to the top. In fact, that's what we're going to do. In our next dealio, we're going to show you putting the dividers in, and maybe putting the top on. We'll see. See how far we go. But anyway, until next time, guys, stay gnomey. Peace.